Hey, remember that episode where Buttercup hangs out with the Gangrene Gang, or the ones where Princess wants to be a Powerpuff Girl, or even the ones where a monster attacks the city? Well, we're doing that all over again. The second episode of this Powerpuff Girls reboot is titled Princess Buttercup, and it's easily the show's first step in the wrong direction. In fact, reading the premise for this episode was enough for me to catch on that this would probably be a retelling of an older episode. Oh, I see the writers are already running out of ideas. So the episode begins with Blossom and Bubbles making arts and crafts during lunch at their elemental high school. Buttercup flies in and celebrates because...
it's Taco Tuesday!
Well, not quite, it's actually only Sloppy Joe Tuesday. Bubbles invites Buttercup to sit with them, but she decides to sit alone because it's not really her thing. Suddenly, these roller derby chicks show up and ruin a perfectly good lunch table because they have to show how edgy and cool they are. They call themselves the Derby Taunts and they invite Buttercup to come play deathball with them.
Hey girls, Princess Morbucks?
Okay, at least they kind of introduced her for the new audience, right? I hate her new theme song. The piano suits her rich archetype a lot better than this generic hip-hop beat she's got going on. Next, we get a montage of Blossom and Bubbles doing different things like playing video games and taking a bath, while Buttercup destroys everyone in a game of deathball. The two girls miss their sister, so they decide to go say hi, and Buttercup introduces them to some of the gang members.
This is Maylin. Sup, Jalen. Yo. And Bobby Suzerae. Lynn. Hi guys!
The Derby Taunts suspiciously suggest that they leave, and as if it wasn't obvious enough at this point, Princess is behind all of this. Cut to Blossom and Bubbles floating down the sidewalk where Princess drives by and tries to join them again. Bubbles seems to have forgiven Morbucks for everything she's done in the past because she's more than willing to let Princess be a Powerpuff Girl now that Buttercup's gone. Thankfully, Blossom puts a stop to this. Next, we learn that there's an Uber service for monsters in Townsville, so I guess that's a thing. Why the hell is he in a car?
That's why Sonic Drift sucks.
Buttercup is seen hanging out with her gang and pushes Bobby Suzerae into the wall, thus breaking it down to see her sister's in trouble. The Derby Taunts say she can't go help and that Morbucks paid them to hang out with her, so obviously Buttercup gets upset and leaves to help her sisters anyway. Blossom and Bubbles appear to be losing to the monster because the producers were nice enough to skip past all of the action scenes, and Blossom agrees to let Princess be a Powerpuff Girl. Considering the grudge Blossom has against Princess in the original show, I'm pretty sure it'd take a bit more than a few hits to convince her otherwise. Princess defeats the monster and traps Blossom and Bubbles in an indestructible diamond. Keywords here are indestructible and diamond. She proceeds to monologue for a bit before Buttercup smashes her face in. Wait, can we see that again? One more time. Oh, that's so satisfying. Princess gets in a giant mech suit, Buttercup gets grabbed without putting up a fight, and when all hope seems lost, the Derby Taunts show up. They tell Princess that they stand by their members when they need them, and that paying them won't change that. Again, this is another instance of where a decent lesson just isn't executed properly. Apparently the indestructible diamond is no longer an indestructible diamond. Why call it that in the first place? Just say Jewel Trap or something. At least it'd be more believable. Buttercup sneaks out of the grip of the robot, and the three girls destroy Princess's machine and save the day. They then make up and have a happy ending. As I said, this episode had a good lesson to teach, but it wasn't executed very well at all. This episode pales in comparison to Buttercrush because the Derby Taunts have less character to them, not to mention the fact that 4 of them are the exact same design copy and pasted on screen. Sure, it's not the exact same episode as Buttercrush. I mean, Blossom and Bubbles were completely unaware of Buttercup actions in that one, but here they witness everything firsthand and are directly affected by it. However, that's still not enough to make it entirely fresh. The basic premise is still there with a slightly new coat of paint, except the new coat of paint looks worse than the old coat of paint. Very little humor and action makes this episode one to avoid. Just go watch Buttercrush and Stuck Up Up and Away instead.